Hi everyone, welcome. This is the another interesting live stream with yours truly, and I have the Pakistani with me, none other than none other than
No, I
Momus.
keep telling you, don't call me that. They keep doing that.
That is who you are. You're a Pakistani. No matter how many times you stay in the UK, I'll keep calling you Pakistani.
I
Never
rather you call me Indian.
It's not going to happen. Hi everyone. Guys, I need you to hit the like button, smash, destroy the like button. We are live right now on two channels. We are live on my channel, we are live on Momo's channel, and we are also live on Twitter as well, I believe. So, uh, this is an interesting live stream, and we intend to, bring you wonderful, glad tidings. That's what we do here. We don't talk about bad news, we talk about good news, especially the ones happening in the UK. We don't see bad news from the UK, do we, Momos? Do we get any bad news from the UK?
Well, it's all good news over here. There's nothing going on. I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know why you even called me today to talk about.
Yeah,
Everything is
I
fine.
try to celebrate God's goodness in the UK. That's
Yeah,
what this is. This is a
yeah, everything
celebration
is
of.
fine. We're having fun. Yeah.
I'm telling you, there is no other place that is peaceful, calm. That is
Yeah,
the dream of everyone. Let's go to the UK.
exactly. Exactly.
Let's
Allahu Akbar.
I mean, when you have the police in the UK greeting you as
Yeah.
family, you know you are in the right place. You know you are, and guys, that is what we'll be talking about today. That's what we are going to be talking about today. The two-tier policing in the UK that has become evident. I think it has always been there, but now it is even more evident
Mm.
with the new Labour government and their policy in cracking down on violent protests. From far-right extremists. The regular suspects.
Yeah.
So yeah, how are you, Momos? How is the UK?
Well, I've been I did like two videos on my podcast as well, and I titled them "Thoughts from Soviet Britain." So
Mm,
that's the situation right now. That's what I feel right now, that we are slipping into communism very hard
mm, mm,
because of what's happening, right? So it might not be the communism of old, but the
mhm,
mechanisms of it seems to be going that way, where you are, like we are basically having thought police,
mm,
and being policed differently, and it's becoming very evident. It's not even like they've been trying to say that it's not true, it's a conspiracy theory, there's no
mm,
two-tier policing. I also saw this Black Police Association, right? And they
mhm.
came out and they said there is no two-tier policing. And I just replied to them, then what the hell were you guys crying about in BLM protest then?
Yeah,
If
yeah,
there's
yeah.
no
There's no two-tier. There's something I've discovered in recent conversation with some people. I told you about the live stream I had off when we were like before we could hit live. I told you about the live stream I had yesterday with a couple of people on TikTok, and I realized something about people. Is that it is okay if it benefits us, is the
Yeah.
mentality that I've gotten from so many people when it
Mm,
comes to scientists. Is that when we are crying about it, then it is an issue. When someone else who is not us is crying about it, then they're just, what are they talking about? This is
mm,
misinformation. This is propaganda. This is far right, rhetoric. There is no
yeah.
such thing as fear policing. So
Mm,
it's normal to see people talk like that.
yeah. And what we're actually seeing as well is they're looking for ways to
Mm,
intimidate people, right? So what
mm,
has happened now, if you go back to the point of what has happened during the protests and stuff,
mm,
what started it is not even the killing of the little girls that died, that were
mm,
murdered, not died, that were
mm,
murdered brutally by that guy. It's not even that. It has been boiling for a very long time. And
mm,
uh, I don't accept the point when some people say, oh, well, you get what you vote for, right? Because people
mm.
have not been voting for this. People
True.
have been consecutively in UK have been voting to lessen immigration, to control illegal migration. But
Mm,
again and again, when they vote for the politicians that promise them to do this, they
mm,
have been not doing it, right? Have not been delivering on their promises. And
mm,
now that the Labour government have come in, like this election, we had the lowest turnout. We had less than 50% of the people, eligible
mm,
people, who actually came out to vote.
mm,
And out of this, Labour have won, right? So they haven't won a majority; they have won a majority within a minority, right? So
mm,
you can see how people are like just fed up. They don't. They see that by politics and by democracy, they're not getting their will,
mm,
delivered. So
mm,
it's been boiling up, and then when this happened, it was just that spark that that got people out. And instead of the prime minister coming out and saying, when the first protest happened and there was a
mm,
bit of disturbance and stuff like that, instead of him coming out and sort of saying, like, I understand people have valid reasons to protest and blah
mm,
blah, whatever it might be, and
mm,
and people have the right to express their feelings and stuff. I would just
mm,
urge you to remain peaceful, don't be
mm,
violent, and our police officers are there to help you, rather than
mm,
come out in riot gears and stuff like that, right?
mm,
Instead of doing that, he just labeled all of them far right. So you
mm,
basically saying like everyone is far right, when there were minimal people over there, but there were probably few pockets of people that weren't even protesting and stuff, right? So
mm,
they were looking for trouble, but they wouldn't have been successful if they didn't come, if the government didn't come down on them so heavy-handed, right?
mm,
And okay, it's
mm,
fine. Deal with the specific people who are causing issues, right?
mm,
Who are causing violence and stuff. Why are you
mm,
labeling everyone? There were pictures coming out of old nans being arrested and stuff. It's like, what violence are they doing? It's like, so it was just disproportionate how the
mm,
government dealt with it, and it was pretty evident from the start that the government was looking for this to happen so that they can clamp down on people who they claim to be far right, which is actually working class white people, right? Working class white natives are their biggest enemy now. Labor
mm,
Party that purported to be for the working class people have actually turned against the working class. And
mm,
people might say, well, how does that bother me as an immigrant? Well, it bothers me a lot, because if I see in a country that I love that the
mhm,
government is not even taking care of its native people, that is going against its native people, how can I
mhm,
be sure that it will take care of me then? For now, because what it's doing, it's pitting the minorities against a majority, right?
mm,
And
mm,
not every, like, if this goes on and on and on, and it erupts into a racial war, basically
mhm,
civil war and stuff like that, nobody's
mhm,
going to stop you on the road and ask you for your political views before committing any violence against you,
mm,
right? It's going to be on aesthetics, right?
mhm,
What you look like. And
mhm.
that's when we're going to, but that's when we're going to have a problem then, and this is what he's actually enabling it to happen. So if you actually, yeah, if you listen to this idiot.
Yeah, we're about to listen. He's not an idiot. He's the best prime minister right now.
Yeah.
Okay. Yes, I don't see. Be careful before they send you to where they are planning to send you to.
Ah, screw them. Screw them. Let them come. Knock on my door. I'll see you. Bastards.
Okay. I'm happy that you've finally gotten the prison lessons from
Yeah.
from Yasa Anta. So yeah, plan how you me. I'm a law abiding citizen. I stay by the I play by the rules. I obey the law. You know, but you
Don't
know what?
worry, they cannot extradite you.
Yeah.
I'll come to Nigeria.
But Pakistanis are known to break the law. Anyways, there's something you said towards the end. I want to talk about that before playing the video. You said something
Mm,
about this becomes a civil war that is not going to be based on nobody's going to stop you on the road and ask you what is your political ideology. It's going to
yeah,
be based on what you look like.
yeah.
And many I've had a couple of people from Nigeria who have been looking at the conflict going on or the protests going on in the UK. And
Mm,
like on Nigeria Twitter, you see the advice that people give to Nigerians who are in the UK, and the advice is leave the UK, leave, because if this thing goes out of proportion, you'll be targeted. Whether you like it or not, you'll be targeted. Whether you ever took part in this or you did not don't take you never took part in this, you'll be targeted. Whether you are part of those causing trouble or not, you'll be targeted because and it echoes that we in Nigeria understand what it is when there is like a racial or a
yeah.
racial conflict because we've lived through it and we
Mm,
even in the region experience it. When it
yeah.
gets down to it, nobody is. In fact, the simple question that would separate who will be killed and who will not be killed. Okay,
Yeah.
example, if the Muslims want to kill, they will ask you to
Mm.
just recite the verse of the Quran. You cannot
Yeah,
recite it, you are gone.
yeah,
Nobody will ask you, did you support us? Did you support our right to move
yeah.
into this country? That's not what they
Mm.
will ask. And also
No.
the white people, the far right that they are scared of, when they
Mm.
start attacking, is what do you look like? It's based on,
Yeah.
you know how to go. It's based on what do
But
you look
I
like.
want to,
Mm,
I do want to be proportional over there, because there's very less people who are like that. There's such a minimal threat of that actually happening, because people are not far right over here. There's a
mm,
very minor pocket of people who are not, who are, who won't actually matter in the grand scheme of things. But the more that you push people, they won't be pushed towards the ideology of far right, but they will do certain things that that might put them in that same category. But I think so, it's just people's nature is not like that. And
mm,
the more violence that we are seeing, or we will see, is actually not from the white people over here. It's going to be from the Muslims, because
mm,
they are the ones who came out during the riots when they heard misinformation that someone was coming for their mosques and stuff like
mm,
that. They came
mm,
out in numbers, right? They came out in numbers, but they had weapons and stuff. So it's like, okay, they didn't buy these weapons on Amazon next day delivery. They had these weapons
Already
in store in the mosques and stuff. So this is a
mhm,
problem that you're not dealing with, because they are the ones who are going to commit violence. And
mhm.
these stupid lefties who are supporting them, right, who are going against their own, and say, or calling all their working class people and every sensible person over here far right. They don't understand, like, you're going to be targeted as well, because you're going to be just seen as a white person. The Muslim is not going to, like, that extremist Muslim is going to attack you as well.
Yes,
No, so
yes, yes.
like, wake the hell up. Like, you can't go against your own people. It's the most stupidest thing that I've ever known, that you going against your own people in this regard.
Yeah, it's something that really surprised me about the UK. Like, it really surprised me. In Nigeria, even when you want to like appease the other side, you don't do it to the in Nigerian politics. Let's say you have a politician from a Yoruba politician and he wants to appease the Hausas. He will not do it to the detriment of his fellow Yorubas because he
Mm.
knows how they will see him. But in the UK, you see politicians throw their own people under the bus, and I'm like,
Yeah,
what? Why will you do that? Who does that? Who goes against his own people?
yeah,
And it speaks to the fact that maybe national identity of the British people is collapsing or is crumbling, where there is no, because you even have people on the far left who don't even think that being British is a good thing. They identify it with racism, with colonialism, with everything they want to, with slavery and everything negative they want to associate it with, based on what based on British history of colonialism and all
mm,
whatnot. So, anyways, let's look at your prime minister and what he has to say
he's not my
after
prime.
this is his first address. And you can already see what is written here. I utterly condemn the far right thuggery we have seen this weekend,
Yeah.
but be in no doubt, those who have participated in this violence will face the full force of the
I was
law.
like,
But
what
here,
an idiotic message to give. Like, seriously.
yeah,
He gave
that's
them,
where.
or like, on that same day, 4th of August, he gave this
Yeah,
message to
yeah,
the
yeah. And the
nation.
funny thing is, he didn't even mention the fact that two girls were stabbed. Nothing like that was mentioned.
Yeah.
Nothing like that. And this is the same person who during BLM,
Mm.
he posed with the knee, with the
Yeah, yeah,
one
yeah. Of course.
feeling and everything, showing
Yeah.
solidarity to a movement that is more violent, that
Yeah.
that that was more violent, way more violent than
Mhm.
whatever you are seeing right now.
And fully racially motivated as well, because it was BLM,
Yes,
right? It was fully racially motivated. This
it's
was
true.
not. This was not. They made it into it, like, they made it appear as it. But
Mm,
these far right people that you're calling them, they were
mhm.
not racially motivated. They were just against their girls being killed and bloody raped by illegal immigrants. You know.
Yeah, but of course, recognizing that and even having to do anything about that
Mm,
makes you a far right thug. That's what you
mm,
are right now.
mm.
Far right.
Be in no
Right.
doubt those that have participated in this violence will face the full force of the law. The police will be making arrests, individuals will be held on remand, charges will follow, and convictions will follow. I guarantee You will regret taking part in this disorder, whether directly or those whipping up this action online and then running away themselves.
Look at that. They are even going for people who are. We are.
It's actually he targeted over there. He targeted Tommy Robinson over there because they created this narrative that Tommy Robinson was creating or inciting violence and stuff, and he didn't do any of that, right? And they were saying that he ran away.
Mm.
He ran away to his holiday, right, in Greece. Sorry, I
Mm.
forgot where he went first. He ran away over there. No, he didn't ran away over there. The case was dropped or the case was delayed, like whenever the hearing is going to go. So he had
Mm.
a holiday booked and he went on his holiday. So they started lying about
Mm.
that because they started creating a boogeyman, right? And he was very specific. He showed frustrations on the 3rd of August. It was pretty clear he was like frustrated with what's happening and he was against
Mhm.
the government's policy on immigration and stuff, as were many
Mm.
people, right?
Mhm.
And the next morning he was saying to people, Tommy Robinson, be peaceful, and he was telling people like, you know, if you want to protest, like, don't go out and start smashing things and stuff. And he told the
Mhm.
guys, stop the younger people doing it because they'll get arrested and they'll have their lives ruined and stuff, and this is not how we're going to do anything, right?
Mhm.
But this is
Mhm.
him this is him playing this is Keir Starmer trying to play villain of Tommy Robinson when it was a
Yeah,
complete bloody lie.
try, trying to vilify him and make it, oh,
Yeah,
these are people who are stirring up the violence online.
yeah,
So and by extension, that means you and I right now, two of us are stirring
yeah.
up the violence online, and I
And
wonder.
whatever he said in 32 seconds is actually stirred up more violence than anything else
Yeah,
in the
but
first 32 seconds what he has said.
maybe he will arrest himself because he has contributed to
Hmm,
the violence.
he should.
It's even a funny thing. What contributes to violence? What do you mean by online rhetoric that is
Man,
contributing?
these are commies, man.
How do
These
you
are
even measure?
commies. Words don't matter to them, and the actual meaning of words don't matter to them. It only matters how they can use certain words to their advantage. They're communists. It's wrong speak. You know, that's what they do.
Mhm.
This is not protest. It is organised, violent
Sure.
thuggery. And it has no place on our streets or online.
How did the protest take place online? it has no place on our streets. I get that. It has no place online. How did
Yeah.
how did this violent protest take place online?
Like they're so scared of online. All these lefties, right? The ones in the UK or everywhere in the West, the Americans and stuff, because they can't control it, right? This is the
Mhm.
problem with these commies. The things that they cannot control, they get so angry at it because,
Mhm.
like, how dare you speak of things that we are not approving? The party hasn't approved your thoughts. How dare you speak those things? How dare you like, you know, I don't even care if someone even uses the N word online, right? Use it.
Mhm.
I don't give a shit, because the
Mhm.
thing is, what should happen socially, if someone is having bad speech, you just
Mhm.
ostracize them from your circle. You stop
Mhm.
talking to them, you block them, you don't. So they will learn on their own that if they want to collaborate with people, if they want to cooperate with people, if they want to live in a civilized society, then they
Mhm.
will correct their behavior. No
Mhm.
matter how much I punish them, it's not going to change. It might stop them from speaking those things, but it won't
Mhm.
change their heart. So
Mhm.
what's the point of it? But this thing these people cannot understand.
So this is someone in the comments said violent protest online is somebody making a gif, making gifs of burning Marxists. That is violent protest online.
Yeah,
When you make memes, that is
yeah,
violent.
yeah.
Right now, there are attacks happening on a hotel in Rotherham. Marauding gangs intent on law breaking, or worse. Windows smashed, fire set ablaze, residents and staff in absolute fear.
Pause this.
There
Pause
is
this.
no justification. None.
So, right, the first thing is when those things started happening in Rotherham Hotel, yeah, if you see the footage of it, the, there was minimal police over there, and they let it
Mm-hmm.
happen, and they let it happen, right? And what
Mm-hmm.
he's saying, that the staff was under like, threat and stuff. There's been immense number of reports coming in from that hotel that staff were being consecutively harassed by these
Mm-hmm.
migrants in there, right? So nobody cares
Mm-hmm.
about that, right? No staff, no resident in there got injured or anything like that. I know, like, they shouldn't have done it, because that was the most stupidest thing that you can do, because it can actually injure people and stuff. And you should always debate and ideas rather than like people in that circumstance, and violence should not be condoned in that anyway. But at the
Mm-hmm.
same
Mm-hmm.
time, you have to acknowledge, why have these people, these mild mannered people usually, right,
Mm.
have come up to that point?
Yeah.
What has, like, you have to acknowledge that. Why are they coming up to that? Why did the Irish do that as well? They didn't learn anything from the Irish, right? When it was
Mm-hmm.
happening in Ireland, because you are taking the piss.
Mm-hmm.
You've gone to that point. You're just taking the piss now, like, so. And there is no democratic way for them to deal with it. So no matter
True.
what country it is, it's going to happen. And actually, it
Mm.
didn't happen as worse as in Ireland or any other country that it would have happened.
Yeah, that is the problem. I don't know how they see these politicians. I believe they understand it. They play dumb and they just don't care.
Hmm.
Essentially, they just don't care because they understand it. It was the same excuse they gave to BLM rioters, even the ones rioting in the UK where there is no police brutality. They're like,
Hmm.
"Oh, the plight of black and brown people have been ignored for so long." Even in the UK where it has not been ignored.
No.
You know how they suffer in the hand of police. Even in the UK where they don't suffer in the hand of police, they gave all that excuse.
Hmm.
Now that there is even more applicable, this is an example where it is more applicable to give all those excuses you were given. You're
Yeah.
like, they're talks and there is no place for this action. Yes, we agree with you.
Yeah.
Violent protest is wrong.
Yeah.
Violent protest, there is no place for that in a liberal, civilized society. We shouldn't resort to violence. But this condoning of violence in one instance and not doing it in the other instance because it is for something you don't intend to do anything
Yeah.
about,
And
it's
also not recognizing, like, if you keep on poking a lion, right, no matter how
Mhm.
peaceful that lion is, what is eventually going to happen, right? I'm actually surprised that this didn't happen on a larger scale way
Mm,
before, because
mm,
tens of thousands of girls have been raped and molested and sexually
mhm,
abused and groomed,
mhm,
and the
mhm,
all white working class girls, right, by the hands
mhm,
of these Pakistani migrants. Most
mhm,
of them illegal or whatever, these Muslim migrants, Muslim and
mhm.
Pakistani migrants. It has
What
happened,
was it?
so for so long it has happened, right? For so
Mhm,
long it has happened.
mhm,
And no recognition. And what's happened is this: the labor control councils have hidden the evidence instead, and
mhm,
vilified the person who's trying to raise awareness, Tommy Robinson. Because
mhm,
he's a working class lad, they try to vilify him. They try to say he's far right, he's a thug, he's this or that. He's nothing of those sorts, right? He's nothing of
mhm,
those sorts, because I know him personally. He's nothing like what they tell him, because he was showing them up, right?
mm,
So it's like,
mm,
if it was any other country, like if it was Poland and that happened to only one girl, they
mm.
would have beaten the living shit out of those people, and the police would have turned a blind eye. Yeah,
Yeah.
and that
If it
would
was,
have
if
happened.
it was in a different society, it'll have gone
Yeah.
differently.
So
Yeah.
they
If
should
you
actually appreciate that, how much people have sought peace before it. How much
mm,
have they sought peace? Like, that they know this is not the way for it. But
yes,
and yeah,
I wanted
yeah, he's right. Fabians will be Fabians. Yeah.
I wanted to highlight this because this is from somebody from Twitter who, and I want to shout out to you for watching from Twitter. How are you guys?
Mhm.
Follow me on Twitter, by the way. Anyway, so moving
For
on.
taking this action. And all right-minded people should be condemning this sort of violence. People in this country have a right to be safe. And yet,
Yeah, people in the UK have a right to be safe, except when they are working class white men and working
Yeah.
class white families
Yeah.
and working class. Just if you are part of the working class, that's
Yeah.
why what follows it. And yet we have seen Muslim communities targeted because
Yeah.
There's never been any target on white families whatsoever. The government doesn't see those. That doesn't happen. What happens is what they see is when you attack Muslims.
Yeah.
So he should just convert at this point. He will be better off, he'll be more effective, as a Sadiq Khan than as a Keir Starmer.
Exactly. Yeah.
We've seen Muslim communities targeted, attacks on mosques, other minority communities singled out, Nazi salutes in the street.
One person.
And
they were Nazi salutes. They were more Nazi salutes by Muslims than anyone else.
This is the funny thing. That's what I wanted to say. You're talking about Nazi salutes. Where were you when somebody was saying Hitler should have finished the job?
Yeah.
Where were you when?
And you know why it pisses me off is because I have heard this since I was young, right? By Pakistanis in their communities. This same sentence, oh, Hitler should have finished the job and stuff like that. These disgusting remarks. Even when I used to be a Muslim a long time ago, a lifetime ago, more than 16 years ago, it still disgusted me that you would, you would praise a person who is treated human beings so horribly like animals, or worse than animals and stuff, that you would do that. But I've heard this again and again and again. I cannot sympathize with people like that who condone such messaging and stuff. But he comes out and says as if like the English working class people are worse than these people, these uncultured, uncouth people. It really pisses me off.
You say Abu Karim. Abu Karim Ibn Starmer. That would be powerful.
Attacks on the police, wanton violence alongside racist rhetoric.
People that we are calling Jews pigs, those we are not racist, those we are not racist comments. Those that we are using Zionist as a slur. Those we are not racist comments, right?
Or even those people who are calling people like me coconuts and stuff like that, right? Going around and stuff because I seem to have my own mind. So it's and I don't like people calling for the death of Jews, and I don't like people like just hating British people for no reason. So that means I must be a coconut. It's like, really, you seem to have coconut in your brain.
So no, I won't shy away from calling it what it is: far-right thuggery.
There you go.
It's the state of this idiot. The state of this idiot. I just can't.
Sorry, there's a little glitch on the internet front. I don't know why it's longer than it used to usually be. Sorry, there was a slight glitch. My internet is kind of my Starlink. You are on blast right now. Actually, we are streaming on Twitter. Elon Musk, see what your Starlink is doing. This is what your Starlink is doing to me in Nigeria. If you can improve the service in Nigeria, to go a long way. I hope you get to see this. Okay. What Keir Starmer just said was people being attacked for the color of their skin and for their religious faith. That's far right thuggery,
like Christians and Jews.
Yeah. Yeah, but when Jews are targeted in the UK, that is not far right thuggery. Okay, that is flight of Palestinians. That is
from the river to the sea is a Labour approved chant. So
it's allowed from the river to the sea, calling for the eradication of the only Jewish nation on the planet. It's not targeting people for their religion. No. It's approved. This is the kind of hatred that Labour approved hatred. It's okay.
It's legitimate hatred.
Go ahead with that. But to say who the F is Allah, that is not allowed. Okay, that is not allowed.
How frightening this must be. I want you to know that this violent mob do not represent our country, and we will bring them to justice. Our police
It is, but there's one thing about his speech that I read. He said these violent mobs. So there's a specific violent mob he's talking about. Okay, that is the one that he considers
The
far
whole,
right and
every single person who came out to protest against immigration. Now this is like important, right? Because the
Mhm,
entire of the left, it's not him, it's not just the Labour Party, because people can
mm,
blame the Labour Party and get away with it, right? So it's not just the
mm,
Labour Party, it's our civil service leadership, it's our local government, it's our police leadership, not
mhm,
normal police officers, most of them, it's police leadership, it's every single public department, right?
mm,
They are captured by the far left
mm,
ideology. So they
mm,
all agree with this rhetoric that if you are against immigration, then you
mm,
are a Nazi, that you are a far right Nazi. If you say that you want the country for your own people first, then you are a far right Nazi, right?
mm,
But these same people
mm,
will say that that when British people go to Spain, they say that's a very bad thing, like you going over there on their country and living over there, you know,
mm,
because Spain should be for Spanish people. The same people would say like, oh, Japan should be for Japanese people, or this country for
mm,
their own people. The same people, but your own
mm,
country cannot be for your own people. Like
mm,
it just you know. So they're saying it for a reason. They're saying it for a reason because they can't control something, right? So whenever they
mm,
can't control something, the way that it is that they can demonize it, they'll do character assassination on it, or they'll if
mm,
it's a system like online they can't control, then they will
mm,
say that this is creating discord, this is creating
mm,
hate, this whole system. So they'll try to discredit it, right? So the white working class people is the demographic that they can't control, right?
mm,
And they have historically unable to control them. So they're like,
mm,
well, what's the best way to do it? Well, what do we need the working class for anyways? They do minimal jobs, right? So we can replace them by migrants, because they don't even need to
mhm,
speak English or anything. Who the hell cares, right? So they just have to clean shit and do the menial labor jobs, right? So we
mhm,
can and we will be able to control them because they'll come from places where they won't know enough, they'll be dependent on benefits and stuff like that.
mm,
So they'll
mm,
be easily controlled, they will have less ambitions and stuff like that.
mm,
This is, I think that this is their thinking. And the replacement theory, the great replacement theory, it's actually, it's not a conspiracy theory anymore, because it
mm,
seems like they are favoring it because it's all
mm,
about control. It's not because they like diversity or anything, because in their own circles, right, in their own metropolitan elite circles, they will have as less diversity as possible, because they'll be
mhm,
all rich people, right, all elite
mhm,
and rich people, left or right, right?
mhm,
It's not diversity they're after, it's servants that they're after. They want
mm.
servants, they want obedient servants who just shut the hell up and do as they're told.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And they believe that they can. The funny thing about what you're saying is, if this is true, I think it's a very ridiculous plan for them because I don't think it will work out.
Mm,
For the time being, it will look like they can control, like let's say, the Muslim population. They feel, oh, we can control them. But the truth
mm,
is, the people who you are trying to use or who you think will be better servants and you think, oh, because they are uneducated and because they are
mm.
poor, they are always going to be dependent on us. But what they don't know is that those poor migrants also have an aspiration that
Yeah.
that poverty does not quench. It's an
Mm,
aspiration for Islam to take over the entire world. Even
yeah.
when they were in a Muslim country, suffering, having to deal with economic crisis and all whatnot, not
Mm,
getting jobs, hungry and all, they still that aspiration
yeah.
did not die. They got on a boat, they crossed that boat, a perilous journey. That
Yeah.
aspiration did not die. They came into your country, and the first thing they did is try to manifest that aspiration.
Yeah.
And he thinks, and for people who are like, who want servants, who want to establish their communist utopia, and they think that people who will be the cog in the wheel of that communist utopia will be Muslims. You
Yeah.
have another thing coming. Because it will not. These people have their own agenda, and if you have them as the majority, they will take over. These people don't need. Muslims don't need technical know-how. They just
No,
need
no, they
the
don't
force.
care about that.
Yeah, they just need the force of the majority. That is all. Strength
Yeah.
in numbers has always been their tactics.
And you know what, like the empathy of the western people is what's
Mm.
going to win them, because they will not be willing to do what the most Muslims are willing to do, right? They won't be willing, they're not willing to be as like what happened on 7th of October, right? There is no
Those
western country.
level of
e-
cruelty. Yeah, the level of cruelty that Muslims will employ is not the same that the communist. No matter how desirous of a communist utopia
mm,
no matter how much he desires it, there are levels he will not, as a British person, as a white
yeah,
person, there are levels he will not go to. But the Muslims, they will go to any length.
yeah,
They will go to any length.
yeah.
You know. So I don't know if they think this is something that I don't know. I don't know what they are telling themselves. If you believe that a Muslim crowd is a crowd you can control, you have another thing
That's
coming.
what they think. That's actually what. Can we finish that? Because I hate seeing his face, so we can remove him.
Deserve our support as they tackle any and all violent disorder that flares up. Whatever the apparent cause or motivation, we make no distinction. Crime is crime, and this government will tackle it.
That's a big lie from that's a big lie
Yeah.
from
So,
Kiesta.
even the
don't care
motivation doesn't matter, right? We don't care why you're doing it.
we don't care what you're
And,
doing. Don't you
yeah.
do?
And so
You do.
what has happened since as well, so what has happened since is that they have set up these show trials, right, like the commies do. They have set up these fast track
Mm,
trials where they are speeding
mm,
through the sentencing of people, um, and it's sort of
mhm,
like, well, there's so many people that are waiting for their trials and stuff. They don't care about that. Only few weeks ago they said they don't have enough space in prisons, so they're going to be
mm,
releasing criminals who have done 50% of their sentence. They're
mm,
going to be releasing them, right? Because there's no room in the prison. Not even recognizing why there is not enough room. Like, maybe can we kick these people out? No. But now they have room. All of a sudden they have room. So they're saying we're gonna kick out criminals and put in the normal people who we call the far right, right? The problem that is happening as well,
They were
they are
making room.
targeting.
When they said that we are opening they want to release people from who have served half time of their
Yeah,
sentences, that they want to make room. There are people
yeah,
there are people that want to throw in prison and they want to make room.
yeah,
So they're like, you know what, this Muslim, what did you actually do? You raped
yeah,
10 girls. Go out, go out, go out. There's somebody
yeah,
who said who the F is alive needs to go
yeah,
spend 18 months in prison. So
yeah.
so now there is room. All of a sudden, miracle has happened and there is room now.
And you know what, like, and they're targeting vulnerable people because they want to scare off the population and stuff.
Mm,
And
mm,
so what my message to people would be like, if the police is coming in and saying like, oh, we want a voluntary interview and stuff. It's
mm,
a voluntary interview. Say no.
mm,
Do not talk to the police, because
mm,
whatever you say to the police, they will definitely use against you. They will never
mm,
use it for you. So just say no. It's voluntary. I don't want to talk to you. If you want to charge me for something, charge me
mm,
something. Do not talk to them unless you have a lawyer,
mm,
unless you have a solicitor. Do not talk to them, and even then, don't talk to them, because everything all these bullshit laws that they're coming up with, they will
mm,
not stand up in the court. But because you're talking, these people are talking with them, because obviously they're scared and stuff like that.
mm,
They're talking with them, they're using those things as confession, right?
mm,
And that's how they capturing these people. So don't talk to them. And this is how they're capturing people, because people are not, everyone is normal people are going to be scared about it.
mm,
This, they put 20 months, and they put this woman, 57-year-old woman, who's the
mm,
only carer for her husband, right?
mm,
And they put her for 20 months for saying, like, she wrote a Facebook post or something, which she deleted straight after anyways,
mm,
right? But someone screenshot it, but she deleted it. But for that reason, they've given her 20 months, and she's the
mm,
only caregiver for her husband, right? It's
mm,
These people are maniacal, what they're doing. This
mm,
this is wrong. Like, for saying things, for words, for saying things online, even if
mm,
someone is like being violent or something like that, this let's imagine someone is being violent against the migrants and stuff, right? They're
mm,
using
mm,
words that they're being violent and stuff. There was a 26-year-old IT manager. who was like saying like, let's burn the refugee centers and blah blah stuff like that. They given him 3 years, right? He's a father of three. He's 26 years old. His career is ruined now, right? His career is ruined. His life is ruined. His sons or daughters' lives are ruined as well. Everyone around him, their life is ruined. And also, what do you think is going to happen to that person? That person is actually going to become far right now. Yeah.
They're radicalizing him.
Yeah, but you have radicalized him. A better suggestion would have been, if someone was on the right, so would have been to give him community hours, within a refugee center, right?
Mm,
And have him interact with people who are actually, there's very few of them who are actual refugees, but at least like have him interact with actual refugee people and stuff, so he understands that there are some who are actual refugees. So
mhm,
when he thinks about these things, he has to be like more mindful and stuff.
mhm,
It would have meant that he could have kept his job as well, and like could have kept his would have de-radicalized him, if that was
mm,
the intention, to de-radicalize. But
mm,
when they sentence that guy, and when they're sentencing all these people, their
mm,
intention is not to de-radicalize. Their intention is to go after the white working class people, because they are provoking them more and more. They want them to be violent, because they have done
mm,
more and more and more reason to go after these people, because they
mm,
don't want to de-radicalize or anything. Or some people who are, might be radicalized or something, they don't
mm,
want to control the situation. They don't want to go to the core of the problem, which is the
mm,
illegal immigrants, and kick them out of the country anyways, and stop
mm,
and protect the border and lower
mm,
the immigration levels. They don't want to deal with those
mm,
things. What they want to do is like they want to make an example out of these people and scare other
mm,
people. And the reason why they went so heavy on against Tommy Robinson, the hope not hate people, doxing his address and stuff, putting his whole family in danger, him getting death threats and stuff, and them not
mm,
reacting at all against it, is
mm,
because a lot of good people were coming together with Tommy Robinson, to unite
mm,
the kingdom, right? So this is what we were trying to do in the cultural movement. And there's a lot of people who are like centrist and stuff. They were seeing that, okay, Tommy Robinson is not what the media was saying, right? And
mm,
they were coming towards us. They wanted to scare off those influential people. Let's say, look, he's a terrorist. We have actually captured him on terrorist accounts and stuff like that, even though they
mm,
haven't proven anything yet. But they can
mm,
say that, like, oh, he's a terrorist and stuff. So all those
mm.
influential people will sort of like, maybe it's not the right time to support him. I don't want to go to prison. I think a lot of it is on that as well.
Yeah, so let's look at this. We'll not go into Keir Starmer just repeating the same thing he has said. We'll just read what his caption for
Yeah,
this. This is his second address regarding this. He said, "This is not protest. This is pure violence. We have a standing army of public duty officers who will ramp up criminals and will apply criminal law online as well offline. We will not tolerate attacks on mosques or Muslim communities. As you
that's
can
it.
see, Keir Starmer is the governor or is the prime minister for the Muslim community. I
Yeah.
don't think he recognized any other community other than this community,
No.
which is very important for him.
Yeah, that's all he said. He hasn't said that we will not tolerate any kind of attacks, right? Even if you want to be a nutter like he is and go hard on people,
Mm-hmm.
just the mosque and the Muslims, just that. I don't understand, what
Mm.
have they given you? What gold trinkets have they given you? What money have they given you that you're selling your own people, to these
He
people? I don't
doesn't
understand.
care. Doesn't care about benefits. Okay, it's him also announcing the efforts that they've made. I think we'll have to watch this one. This is very interesting.
The Cobra meeting was to coordinate our response to the disorder. And I made it very clear on a number of occasions that those involved will feel the full force of the law. So we coordinated, we went through some of the numbers. Over 400 people now have been arrested, 100 have been charged, some in relation to online activity, and a number of them are already in court. And I'm now expecting substantive sentencing before the end of this week. That should send a very powerful message to anybody involved, either directly or online, that you are likely to be dealt with within a week, and that nobody should be involving themselves in this disorder.
You can see that that's powerful stuff coming from Keir Starmer. So he's not playing around, okay, guys. This guy is not playing. He's not joking. When he says he's going to arrest people, he has arrested 400 thus far, and some of them over 100 are in line with, some of them are like saying something online and stuff, and he's not playing. Guys, you need to understand that Keir Starmer is not playing. Online activities will get you a good number of months in jail. That's why my heart goes out.
There is no place in jails to put in millions of people, and
Of
everyone
course,
right now should, like, say whatever the hell they want online, because he cannot arrest everyone. And it's ridiculous.
he
Like,
can.
okay, I want to put a caveat into it, right? Like, okay, there were some comments which were inciting violence, right? And we should not condone that, right? So,
Mhm,
which is pretty obvious. We don't want
mhm,
people to be killed, right? We just want a working government that
mhm,
knows what borders are, because without borders there is no nation, and that
mhm,
understands the needs of its people first before the needs of
mhm,
others, right? That's what we actually want. And if it means peacefully gathering these people up and
mhm,
deporting them the hell out of the country, then do it, right? It doesn't mean like you have to go in the with the army and, like, and stuff like that.
mhm,
There were some people, obviously, that said stuff that they shouldn't have said, and but then again, it's words. Even if someone has acted, even if
mhm,
someone has picked up a brick and like thrown it at the mosque or stuff like that, or thrown it at the police and stuff, there are fines for it,
mhm,
and there's minimal sentencing for it,
mhm,
but it doesn't mean that you brush the whole concerns of the people with it, right? Not the actions, but the concerns of the people with it. So it's like, not condoning it, but
mhm,
you
mhm,
also have to recognize why they have come up to that point, because it's frustrating. This guy,
mhm,
like, really annoys me.
mhm.
Really annoys me. This guy.
This very esteemed judge. You already know
Yeah,
what this is about. This is, I
yeah,
am very sure Channel 4 News, we are also excited to announce. They should have just written, it gives us so much joy to announce that a man has been jailed for social media posts during far right.
yeah. They're already
I love
framing like that, right?
the
Like,
Channel 4 gave us Cathy Newman. I don't know if you guys know who Channel 4 is. But remember the interview with Cathy Newman and Jordan Peterson. That is
yeah,
Channel 4 News. Okay.
yeah.
So you can see that they are doing excellent journalism over here. You know. So let's this is one of the this person was
Most
given
disturbing, actually. This is disturbing to listen, actually.
I don't we're not going to play. We're not going to
No,
play.
no, no. Play it because it's important. Play it because it's
All
important.
right,
Play a bit of it. Play a bit of it.
let me
You have been committed.
these are the things before I play. This is the extent Momus is willing to go to bring the truth to you guys. Okay,
Yeah,
he's ready to torture himself
yeah.
to bring the truth.
You need to donate some money.
Yes, oh, I was about to say, but I forgot. We need to start giving money. You're not giving us money, guys. We have over 441 people in the live chat, which is, I mean, in the live on the live stream, which is amazing. Thank you. But where is the money? Where is the? Let us get jizya before the people start.
I wanna put some money on the side for a future solicitor.
Exactly. Momos will need it, and I will need it too. In case they want to extradite me.
Yeah.
Which they are planning to do. So come on, where's the money? Where's the money, guys? We are going through hell for you guys.
Committed for sentence, having pleaded guilty to an offence of publishing written material which is threatening, abusive, or insulting, intending
Insulting.
thereby to stir up racial.
So even when it is just insulting, if they consider it
Yeah.
to stir up racial violence, even when you just say,
And words sort of matter, because he said publishing, right? He didn't say posting or anything like that. Publishing, because they want to say that when you are posting something on these social media platforms, you are a publisher now. So
mm,
if you're a publisher, then you have responsibilities as a publisher. So if you are inciting violence or insulting or stuff like that, so they can apply
mm,
those laws. So there's a very important thing about communists that people need to understand. They don't just change the meaning of the words for no
mm,
reason. They change it so that they don't have to change the law, right?
mm,
So if, let's say, harm used to be physical harm, and everyone understood it was physical harm, right?
Mm.
They will not change that within the law. They will just change what harm means. Now harm extends then to physical and mental and online and whatever, and then they can capture on that basis. This is the reason why they change the wordings.
Look at this.
I've already packed a few board games and stuff like that for the gulag. So,
Thank you for the super chat. I really am.
hatred. The context of your offending is that it arises out of the civil unrest and disorder in many parts of the United Kingdom. On the night of the 2nd and 3rd of August, the Britannia Hotel in Leeds was attacked by people who threw missiles which damaged windows. The police were called, and on the 3rd of August, the hotel was locked down for the protection of those who were living there. At the time, there were 210 occupants, many of whom were foreign refugees and asylum seekers. Similar attacks to the hotel were launched on the 4th of August. The police attended on each occasion, and units were deployed to safeguard the hotel.
we don't need to listen to all of it. I just
Get to the part where you tell us how many years you are giving this guy. Jesus Christ. This is why Muslims are taking over. The judge is boring.
Yeah. And you know what, like this guy is not even influential. It's not even influential. Like he might have had like 2-3 likes on his post and stuff. How are you saying that he's inciting violence? Like on what basis and stuff, right? He said missiles. He didn't say projectiles, right? Because he's making it feel like
Iranian grade missiles.
Yeah.
trying to genocide migrants.
Yeah. And he didn't say even migrants, like he said occupants, many of whom then, like, no, it was filled with fucking migrants that we don't know about. It's illegal migrants, right? They should not be there. Is he anyone mentioning how much we paying in taxes every single day? Millions. It costs millions every day to house these people who hate us, right? Who hate everyone. So
that's what they have to do for the sake of tolerance.
These Muslims, right, and most of these illegal migrants, they have problem with every single other ethnicity, right? Every other person, every other religion they have, but they are not the problem. You know, it's not their fault. It's not their fault that, like, you know, Islam is so amazing that everyone is jealous of it. You know, basically that's the reason. You know.
Yeah. Let me get this. I want to get this news article about people. You can get for retweeting now, which is a recent development in the UK justice system. You can now, if you retweet something that they don't like, you can now get punished for it. Retweeting is a crime. Okay, so let's say I suppose this
the offense of incitement to rape.
Let's say as we post this video online and you get to retweet it on Twitter, that can constitute, even though nobody's that can constitute.
You know what I just realized? Like I didn't put it live on my YouTube. So all this time my YouTube wasn't live.
Oh, are you serious? It has not been.
Yeah. So all that they missed. So anyone who's joining now on my live, I don't know if you can go back to it or just go to Frank's channel. I think so. But my Twitter was live, but I didn't put my own one live. You know.
Sorry. Sorry.
Yeah.
So wow, that is. Don't worry. Next time we are going to get the live stream because he will be on I'll have Momus again towards the ending of this month. I will be talking about a more light-hearted topic. Not about Muslims. We're talking about Christianity. So we'll have Momus again. But thank you all for being joining my channel for the life. I am honored. I'm happy to have you all as always. So
The offence of incitement to racial hatred involves publishing or distributing material which is insulting or abusive, which is intended to or likely to start racial hatred.
this is so messed up.
Intended to or
Intended
likely. How can he check people's intentions?
Yeah, this is so not just the intention. The intention part is already crazy. Then the likelihood part is who determines this thing? Who determines what is likely to? No, this is dangerous, guys. This is really, really the wording of these things are just like, and then there's the publishing and distributing, and we all know that when it comes to definition, they are already ready to redefine what publishing means and what distributing will be. So it might even be sending WhatsApp message. That is distributing.
Yeah. This
And
is
then
actually what they're trying to do.
Yeah, if you now ask yourself, if they're going to go towards that extent to, let's say they say even sharing WhatsApp message that was likely or intended to insult or offend. If they say even WhatsApp message, then to enforce that, what would they have to do? They will require social media people, Facebook or Meta, to give them permission to look at people's WhatsApp. And if you don't do that in the UK, we will not allow you to operate in this country.
Yeah.
And the government now, this is how a state gradually becomes China, essentially.
Yeah.
And
I mean,
like
this is because the thing is, there was a labor councillor who was in the protest. So another protest happened, right? It didn't happen actually. So there were a lot of rumors around that is going to happen. A far right protest is going to happen, and all of the Muslims and the far left people came out to do anti-protest, and none of the far right people or normal people, actually not far right people, came out to protest because there was never one. It was just a scam, like to get them riled up and stuff, right? Within there was a labor councillor who was shouting that that all the far right people, right, who are Nazis now, they should have we should cut off their throats and throw them away, right? This is a labor councillor. This is an elected labor councillor for local authority, right? So that's what he said. He was suspended from the party and he was arrested, but he hasn't put through to those show trials. He hasn't put through like straight away to 20, 30 months in prison, when he should have, like, if you're telling that.
He should immediate sentence. Let them give him 3 years, like they are giving to someone. Let them have 5 years. Let them give him 20 years. Let them show that they are really committed to this thing.
Yeah, and when he was saying that, there was a lot of people around him, obviously all white people, that were cheering on, like white lefties, cheering on, like, yeah, we should do. There were people of Amnesty UK. Yeah, there's refugees people that help these refugees come over here. They were cheering him when he was saying we should cut off the throats of far right.
That is distribution and publishing. They should be.
He was on, like, he was inciting violence. He was actually inciting violence.
And both him and everybody around him who we are cheering, they should be guilty of publishing and inciting.
Yeah.
Extend the definition. There's something I say, if we want to get mad, let's get mad together. I'll apply it equally. But this is really concerning. This is really concerning that you're going to arrest people for, and the way it is being worded is really concerning. It should not be the case. There was a law that was introduced a bill that was introduced into Nigeria, and the bill said anybody that is a criminal offense to not be able to sing the new national anthem, that it will be a criminal offense you get 2 years jail prison sentence if you insult the president, if you insult any government elected official. What else? And also if the other speech laws that were in that bill. Now, when it was introduced, the Nigerians became aware of it. People,
Mm.
there's already a protest in Nigeria already that is ongoing, right? And when people were online knew about it, people were talking about it, was becoming part of like the online conversation in Nigeria. And the next day, the bill was withdrawn.
Mm.
Like, even the Nigerian, I'm just saying that even the Nigerian is now looking more sensible. And the person who introduced it apologized that, oh, he didn't really mean it. Of course, we know it's just he wasn't anticipating this level of backlash. And when he saw it, was like, oh, okay, let's withdraw it. But in the UK, it's like publishing and then distributing, and everybody's like, yo, let's go. Guys, this does not look nice. It does not look nice at all. It does not look good at all.
Well, I
When
have to say, like, whatever this guy is even saying, whatever they're saying, right? They are just trying to scare people, and this is what I want to repeat to people again and again. Don't let them scare you. So, like, know your rights. Don't let them intimidate you, because they cannot put thousands and thousands, millions of people in prison. They want you to shut up, they want you to roll over, so that they can, they can convert this country into their Soviet dreams, right? So they will make it socialist. They're already trying to put in laws that will make it more and more socialist, right? So Angela Rayner has already come out and said that the housing, social housing, is not limited to white British people only now. Or sorry, not white British. I meant like not limited to British citizens anymore. So refugees and whatever migrants can also apply for social housing. This is wrong. In any country, this is wrong, right? It's social housing. How can you give social housing to people who don't belong to that country? What is going on? So they are doing these things, and I knew this thing was coming, because the suggested changes to British constitution, one of them was the right of housing, right? And the right of housing was extended to everyone having a right of housing. So I knew this was coming, because this is their mentality, right? Haven't even been for a month or so in government. These people are trying something on. They will not survive with this. So I think so it needs resisting again and again. It needs people to come together. It needs organizations like Free Speech Union, which I'm a member of as well. Everyone go and join them. If you're in UK, join these organizations, support these people, because they are going to fight for you. And once we have like enough people and stuff, we fight against them, we can sue this government, because the idea is to have this government dissolved, basically, and parliament can be dissolved, you know.
Yeah, this is one this is one of the reasons why I like having Momus on, because besides just talking about the problem, you always like provide like, oh, this is the way forward. This is how we can, moving forward. This is how we can, do something about what we are seeing. Do something to remedy the situation. Do something to make it better. And one of those, what you suggested is, join organizations, and let's try and see what we can do to dissolve this current government. And like you said, I don't know how the British politics work, but from what you said this government can be dissolved. And if it's an option that I believe every person in the UK should, see if they can utilize and make a reality, because what I'm hearing is really, really, really troubling. Like, what is really troubling? Thinking about it is just really troubling. The last time Nigeria lived under this kind of government was during the military rule, and we called that military rule a dictatorship. That's what it was known as, a dictatorship, where they will go after people who said something that they didn't like and stuff like that. And to see that happening in Western countries that we in third world countries like we want to emulate, it doesn't look well. It doesn't look well. The next time, and which is one of my concerns, is that the next time, let's say a Nigerian politician want to introduce crazy speech laws, what is he going to say? Oh, let me tell you what happened in the UK. That's where they will start from. Do you know what happened in the UK? Somebody was thrown in prison for saying this, and that. We are not doing anything out of the ordinary. That is what they will say. So, be the example that you've always been, please. Just be the example that you've always been.
But like it's going, I think so. I don't like, because the king can actually step in and dissolve the parliament if he wants to, right? So it's at a point like we know the king is also weak in that respect because he's also far left, have ideas of far left and stuff like that.
Mm.
But I think so. Even for the king, if this goes on for a few months, this would be a bit too much even for him, because like it's not just what they're doing to people. This is going to start tanking the economy. This is going to start the investors are going to start leaving, right? We already have the highest number of people ever to be millionaires and investors and stuff already leaving UK. The
Mm.
the young people leaving UK as well, like British nationals, not like these migrants and stuff, but actually homegrown people. They're leaving UK. The investment is going because there's no confidence in what they will
Mm.
be able to do, because all they hear is these things, and they think, you know what's coming? Higher taxes, higher and higher taxes, because they've already said they're going to tax, right? Before they were coming in, they said they were never going to tax, right? That
Mm.
they're not going to raise their taxes. And I was telling people, look, these are people who are communists, who are socialists. Why do you think
Mm.
they're not going to raise the tax? That's all
Of
they
course.
believe in.
Mm-hmm.
you know Taxes. And yeah, the king can actually dissolve the government for Canada as well. Probably he should. Yeah, if I was king, I would have tried Keir Starmer for treason already. Like, this guy is, but everyone knew it, right? Like, this is nothing new about Keir Starmer. Keir Starmer is the one who has introduced the laws and who has, done stuff in his whole life that has
Mm.
brought him to this point where he's just
Mm.
delivering his promise. He is
Mm.
consistent. He's not in. It's not like all of a sudden Keir Starmer has gone crazy. No, no, he's consistent in his madness. You know, he's
Mm.
consistent in his
Mm.
ideology. It's everyone around who is unable to understand that. They think like, oh, he's weak. He looks feeble. He looks weak. Like, he
Yeah,
looks
he,
like a beta male.
you
It's
know.
like, but that is the ideal male now,
Mm.
in the idea of the new communist, new far left, right?
Mm.
There's not the age of Stalin and stuff where they wanted like strong men and stuff like that, right? The new idea of the woke left, which is mixed with the far left as well, is a weak man. So they cannot
Mm.
have a strong man doing these things what he's doing. So that's why he's the ideal leader for them. We might
Mm.
think, as sensible people or people on the
Mm.
conservative or the Christians and stuff like that, that he's weak, and that means
Mm.
he's not a good leader. For us,
Mm.
he's not a good leader. For them,
Mm.
he's the ideal leader, because they want to get rid of these working class white men who are strong men, right? Who exhibit
Mm.
masculinity. This is what they're
Mm.
after. So why would they have a masculine, leader of communism in these
Mm.
days? So they
Yes.
like, don't disregard people, disregard him. It's like, oh, he's so weak, he can't even punch. It's like, that's actually his strength.
Mm. That's his appeal. He has appeal to his crowd,
Mm.
and that's how he deceives people on the other side by appearing weak. His crowd is going to be like, yeah, that's the kind of man we want, and people on the other side is going to be like, who is a threat? It's also funny about the UK is how people who look weak are the ones doing ridiculous stuff, and the level of power that they are able to wield. Like, I look at the UK police and I'm like, if somebody that is dressed like that comes to arrest me, I would just start laughing because of how they look. You're like, you're coming. This is the person riding a bicycle with that hat that you people wear, and that colorful Nigerian police dressed in all black for a reason. It's to scare the hell out of you. The UK police look colorful. I'm like, what is this? This is the person that wants to arrest me, and it's usually a woman. And I'm like, what?
Yeah.
But
But
those are the people that are doing the crazy things.
yeah, but the reason for that is as well, like, we're supposed to have policing by consent in this country. Right? The police
Mm.
is not there to scare you. The police is not there to control you. The police is
Mm.
not supposed to be there to enforce like things that you shouldn't be doing. It's not supposed to beat you on the street and stuff like that. It's supposed to be by consent, because this used to be a society where people understood the meaning of consent. And that was
Mm.
before the mass migration. That was before 70s and 80s, when more
Mm.
60s, even, like, when more and more people started coming in who were not
Mm.
of this culture, right? And
Mm.
they didn't understand what does it mean policing by consent. you know
Mm.
they don't even
Mm.
understand what consent means. These Muslims, they
Yeah,
don't
yeah, yeah.
understand what consent
Yeah,
means.
I've seen cases like that where they're like, this person raped somebody and he wasn't charged or sentenced because they said he did not understand consent. And I'm like, hey, well, put him in prison and he will understand it. You know?
Yeah, get him out of the bloody country. I would say, you know, that's
Yeah,
the
yeah.
thing.
Think about it, you understand consent. You know,
Yeah.
and
So
here's one of your secret admirers, Momus. I want you to know that I know one of your secret admirers.
no.
Uh,
Oh.
yeah, is one of the funny. What is one of the funny videos there? There's somebody that made mention of. Although I couldn't find that clip when I was preparing for this live stream, there was this clip of police officers telling a gang of Muslims, telling them that
Oh,
they should
put
leave their
your, yeah.
leave your weapons in the mosques. What do you think about that? When you saw that, what were your thoughts about
There's an okay. That guy wasn't a police officer, by the way, right? So that guy was
that?
a community, like police community support officer. So he's not a police officer itself, but he works as a community support officer, right? It's a
Okay.
different mentality because, like I said, policing is supposed to be by consent. So you have these community people. So he seemed like he was a Muslim himself, right? So it was an admission over there for me. I would be investigating really heavily that this person knows that this is his community, this mosque. He knows that the weapons are stored in the mosque, whatever the reason might be, right? The reason might be like, oh, because we had a lot of cases of Paki bashing and stuff like that back in the time when actual far right people beat up Pakistanis and stuff, for being Pakistanis, being brown and stuff. A lot of Sikh people also got beaten up, and Indians, just in that, sort of a race sort of a thing. So they have built up a cache of weapons in case this happens again, right? This could be their uh, reasoning,
Reasoning.
but it's illegal, right? It's illegal to have all of these weapons stored up, and this is why I was saying they didn't get these weapons delivered by Amazon next day delivery. They had these weapons in their mosques, right? So there has to be recognition of that. So why has no one gone to those mosques and done any investigation? Why hasn't anyone done an investigation on this police liaison officer, whatever the hell this guy is, community support officer, whatever he might be? Why? Because it is an admission of guilt that he knew that this has happened, right? Right? None of the far right people, none of them came out with like, one person came out with a small truncheon, right, which he didn't even use on anyone, and they put him in prison. He was like 69 years old or something. They put him in prison for whatever, 26 months or whatever months, like they're putting similar months on people. But none of those people have been captured. They only captured one or two people who showed AK-47s on video, right? As well, like, okay, so can we actually admit that they have AK-47s, they have weapons and stuff like that, where the far right people that you're calling far right people are actually, they're only coming out with their concerns, they're not coming out with their weapons.
It turns out that having concerns is more deadly, than having weapons. Actually, this when you redefine what harm look like. When you can have violent protests online, then you know that you're not dealing with actual violence. You are dealing with what they are interested in is not actual violence. It's what they perceive as violence. It can be. And here is this police commissioner saying that let's just listen to what he has to say. One of the things he said is really funny. Why is this taking so long?
We will throw the full force of the law at people. And whether you're in this country committing crimes on the streets or committing crimes from further afield online, we will come after you.
Talk to me about that, because we have seen some high-profile figures whipping up the hatred. You talked about it in there with the officers, in fact, about this being added to by online commentary. I mean, I'm even thinking of the likes of Elon Musk getting involved. What are you considering when it comes to dealing with people who are whipping up this kind of behaviour from behind a keyboard, maybe in a different country?
Being a keyboard warrior does not make you safe from the law. You can be guilty of offences of incitement, of stirring up racial hatred. There are numerous terrorist offences regarding the sort of publishing of material. All of those offences are in play if people are provoking hatred and violence on the streets, and we'll come after those individuals just as we will physically confront on the streets the thugs and the obs who are causing the problems for communities.
To be fair to this man, he didn't say he's going to come after Elon Musk, even though people interpreted it as such. I don't think the UK have that.
No, I think so. They've mentioned this afterwards and stuff, because
they asked him, what will you say about people online like Elon Musk? Would this apply to him? And then he just repeated the answer he gave again. And I'm like, I don't know if in his defense, I'm like, maybe he's just repeating himself. When government officials don't have answers, they just repeat themselves. But I don't think he meant to say that he's going
No,
to.
no, 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 no. He definitely meant to say that. Believe me, he definitely meant to say that, because they have been building towards it, right? So they didn't say it at first, because this is a very earlier interview during these things, protests that happen. Eventually, like little by little, they have got more and more courageous in saying
Mhm.
things against Elon Musk and everyone else, right?
Mm.
Up to that point where the EU, even like, so people also have to understand EU is actually in lockstep with this Labour government, because EU is very far left as well. The current, like, their
Yeah, they
their
have been.
government as well, and they are already in connection with the Labour government, so they're like, going in lockstep with them. So
Mm.
when EU sent Elon Musk that letter, that when he was going to host Donald Trump, when they sent him
Yeah,
that
yeah,
letter to stop doing it, that was the reason, because they're trying to nibble at him from all angles and stuff, and his response was perfect. His response was like, just absolutely perfect, through the memes that they hate, like, just do that, like, that was perfect. But this is also the reason why they're trying to take away Tommy Robinson's. There was talk about taking away Tommy Robinson's Irish passport, because he was born in Ireland, right? So he has dual nationality. He has an Irish passport because his mother is Irish as well. And they were trying to
Mm.
take away, or saying that they are going to take away that, because obviously they have connected with EU, because they want him trapped over here, right? They
Mm.
want him to bring him back over here, do another of the show trials against him, no jury, no anything, and put him in prison. And putting him in prison,
Mm.
either in isolation or something like that, or with these Islamists and stuff, and that's just gonna mean that he's gonna, God forbid, he's gonna end up dying in there, and that's what they want. So it's actually very
Mm.
scary for people who
You in
are
a Muslim,
voicing up.
yeah, when they pack you in prison with the Islamists that they've imported, only
Hmm.
God knows what will happen at the end of the day. It's going to like the what will become of you in that place is going to be something else. Which is why I don't want you, Momus, to end up there. Okay.
I don't want
And
myself to
this
end.
is one of the this is one of the interest. This is a very interesting one. There are two of it, and they are very, very interesting. And I want you guys to pay close attention to how these videos begin. Come
No,
on,
you're
why?
having a very
Hello,
like.
Assalamu alaikum. My name is Phil Hutchinson. And,
Let's take it back.
hello, Assalamu alaikum. My name is Phil Hutchinson, and I.
Did you guys hear it? Let's take it back. We need to play this again.
Yeah.
And
And also, like, see
Hello,
the
Assalamu
people at
my
the
name
back.
is Phil Hutchinson.
yeah, look at it.
Like, what the hell,
This
man?
guy think twice if you are.
It's bloody dhimmis, like, like, what the hell, man?
Oh no.
It's
Oh
worse than
no.
taking. It's actually worse than taking the knee to BLM. It's even worse than that.
Look at the people surrounding him. It's like he's surrounded by Hamas fighters, and he's a Jew that has been taken as
Yeah,
a hostage, and they're like, "Take this video. This looks like a hostage video."
yeah.
And he started by saying, "Assalamu alaikum." This is why I say the British police is not threatening. It's not threatening at all.
Yeah.
This is the guy that wants to arrest you. This is the guy that
You know what the reason is, like, the reason is that they think everyone thinks like them, right? So they think that no matter who you add to their system will interact with others in the same way. So if they
Mm,
appease to these people and they are nicer to these people and stuff, then they can control, their community leaders can control other people, right?
mm,
Their community elders, or whatever they call them, they can control people. It doesn't work like that. because
not.
they're not here to assimilate. When you're in Britain and you're still wearing your traditional dresses and stuff like that, and you're
Mhm,
still like, you're not assimilating. You don't want to assimilate. You
at
want to
all.
oppress them with your culture. That's
Mhm,
what you're there for. So what the
mhm,
hell are we doing appeasing these people?
mhm. You see, look at your fan. This is not my fan right now. At this moment, this is your fan. Look at. She's like 100%. You know. Well, it's so when I saw this, I was like, okay, let's say you are doing this to appease the Muslims. I believe that Muslims are not the only minority when it comes to like migrants. I believe there are many Nigerian migrants in the UK. I think the UK has a very good Nigerian population.
Mhm.
I believe, and most of them did not go there on ships. I would like to, if they went there legally, they are not illegal migrants. In Nigeria, Nigerians don't become illegal migrants. We are
they're
usually
not
legal
they're not
migrants.
Somali.
We don't get on boats, okay, for the most part. We process our visas. Some of us go there through by walking, so they go on work visas and stuff like that, or through education.
Hmm.
So we go to the UK hoping to contribute to that society. And the least we can get is somebody say Ibo Kwenu before addressing the public, or Ekaro. These are greetings in Nigeria. These are local Nigerian greetings. You can start. It's not just Assalamu alaikum. You have to commit to this thing. You have to. I don't like half. You have to be committed. Go all in. Okay. Address every
Namaste.
single because according to you guys, this is a protest against minorities. So address every single minority, not just Shukran and Assalamu alaikum. Go all the way. Be as ridiculous as you can be. Learn how to speak Yoruba so you can address the Yoruba migrants. Learn how to speak Igbo so you can address the Igbo migrants. Learn how to speak. I believe there are many people from the Ashanti tribe in Ghana who are in the UK. Learn how to speak Ashanti so you can address those people there. Learn how to. We have many people from West Africa that end up as migrants in the UK. And this is the thing about West African migrants. They are nice people. In fact, that your communist utopia, they are ready to abide by anything. Any rule you put in front of them, they will follow it. They are more helpful for whatever you want to achieve. Why don't you address us in our local language and show support for us?
Yeah, learn all the languages of the world.
Of the world, so that you can be as inclusive as possible. Because I don't feel included. I'm very sure there are so many Nigerian migrants who did not feel included in this year attack. I mean, in this year address, rather. Be inclusive. Okay,
Yeah.
Go all in.
All in.
Go all in. And this is not just one instance. There's another one. There's another instance.
Oh, this was even worse.
Salam alaikum. There is one tier of policing that implies to all of us, and that means that we police without fear or favour. Shukran. Salam alaikum. There is
Shukran.
It's like, if there's one tier of policing, then you shouldn't have to do that. If there's one tier of policing, then you should be addressing people in your country in your bloody language with your greetings. Right? It's like we police by like no fear or favor, right? So, but you're showing favor within this video.
Yeah.
You're showing favor, like it's,
You're right 100%. If there's one tier policing, why are you not speaking English? Why are you
Yeah.
using? And it's funny. There's something very funny about this video, because if this video was made, because the people who making the accusation of, I think it's even insulting in a way, because people making the accusation that there are two-tier policing in the UK are white working class people, right? So this video is made for them, not
Yeah.
for the Muslim.
No.
And you address them by greeting them in Arabic. Like,
It's like putting salt on the wounds. Like, it's
yes,
like,
you're putting salt on the Muslim, like you're adding insult to injury.
Hmm.
What exactly are you trying to do? Because this is a video for the far right, who, according to you, the far right, or the white people who are like, they are two-tier policing in the UK, or two-tier care, they called it.
Hmm.
Your response is to greet them and even end it with shukran. This is comedy at this point. You are trolling them. You are really trolling them.
And like the main thing that I hate as well, the biggest thing that I hate as well, that they're making the country that I love into a bloody joke worldwide, right? The
True.
country with an immense history and tradition and values and culture that they have
Mm,
spread all over the world. The reason, the love of which is the reason why I came over here to be a part of it. These far
mm,
left dildos are making fun of it. They're making it into a joke. If people are like,
mm,
you are watching this, right? Even
mm,
Nigerians are laughing at us. Like, what the hell is going on? We can't have that. This is what annoys me, like, really badly, because you know y- y- like, there's so much anger with it.
having pride for your country and being not being okay with being ridiculed is a sign that you are part of the far right. This is a
Yeah,
symptom of far right ideology. Okay, thinking why is my country being insulted? Why is my country this way? Is evident that you are now part of the far right.
yeah.
So
And
oh,
like, people say a lot of times that, why these immigrants are coming over here, and why do they want to make it into the same shithole that they ran away from, right? And I try telling people, like, not everyone is actually running away from something bad.
mm,
uh, and most of the people are actually not running away from something bad. They're actually bringing something bad with them, right? They
mm,
have bad intentions towards this country. They
mm,
don't want, they're fooling people. Back
mm,
home, like, a lot of these Pakistanis, they have built a lot of nice homes and stuff like that for themselves from the
mm, mm,
benefits that we are paying for them. So they would have their children in this country, these Pakistanis, Bangladeshis, and Somalis, and all these stuff, because they get benefits, right? And then they would
mm,
save up from those benefits, and they would send home, and they would make their homes over there. So they would
mm,
live in luxury on the back of the people over here. They don't want
mm,
to assimilate or integrate, because they're not here because they love the country. They're here
mm.
because you are giving them an advantage. You're giving them the benefits that they need, and they're just taking advantage of it. It's
They
easy
are
money for them.
yeah, they're leeching on the system, just exploiting
Yeah.
the system. And
And
for them, they don't.
those are actually the good bad people, right? The good ones of them are the ones that are just leeching. The really bad ones out of them are the ones who mean to conquer this country,
True,
right?
true. What you said is really like true. Like the good ones are just leeching off the system, taking advantage of it, I say leeching off the system and just sucking it dry. Why the bad ones are not just here to just leech off the system? They are here to take over. They are here to make the land of war, or
Yeah,
the land of war become the land of Allah. That is their
yeah,
goal. That is their intention. They are forming grooming gangs, and they are they
yeah.
are, they are perpetrating various heinous crimes. You
Mm.
know,
And if you
and
think
you have
about it, like, if you combine both of those groups, right, you say, like, what is the contribution? What is the net contribution that these people are bringing to this country?
diversity,
And
cultural
what it
heritage.
would be without them? How better this country would be without them? And
They
anyone would be saying, like, deport them. You and me as an immigrant would be saying, like, deport them. I don't want them over here.
true, true, true. Look at who we have in the live chat. It's none
Oh,
other
who's
than
that?
1990. Yes, and this is what we get from here. Freaky Friday. That's what this Friday is about. It's Freaky Friday with yours truly. Unfortunately, we are not talking about trans men and trans women, which is like Yasser's favorite topic. We are talking about Muslims.
Yeah,
And
but,
by the way,
like, go on.
in case
Sorry.
you don't know, Yasser is secretly a Muslim in Finland.
But, like, this is what I said to people, like, when they were talking about trans and stuff like that. It's like, we already have the problems in trans. We've seen on all throughout Olympics what's happening, right? We have a Muslim country who's scorning now the Olympics by
Mm,
saying, and that, well, like, it's pretty obvious he's a man. There's nothing womanly about this man. And then the way
mm,
that they were congratulating this man, the Algerian
mhm,
Muslim coaches, you wouldn't do that if he was a woman,
mm.
because it would be illegal in your country to do that, right? So we know
True.
what they're doing.
Carried him on. The man
Yeah.
yeah.
And so we know what they're doing. So this is what I was telling them, like, look, once the problem of Islam becomes more and more, this woke shit would not even matter. because these lefties have always
Mm.
succumbed to the
Yeah.
Islamist, and this is what we're seeing in UK. This is why I've been talking about Islam
True.
for so long. Like, that is a huge problem. There are two main problems in the West that the West has to deal with: communism and Islam. Now, people might make fun of me for sometimes talking too much about communism, saying, oh, it's not communism, it's Stalinism, it's Maoism,
Mm.
it's thisism. Saying, no, it comes from the same mentality. It's Marxist ideology, and that needs to be tackled
Yes.
with. That needs to be taken out of all our institutions, all our education systems, everywhere. That has to be dealt with. And the problem of Islam, not just Islamism, right? Now, Keir Starmer, you have the
Mm.
opportunity to put me in jail for this, right? Islam does not belong in the West, right?
It's
Anyone who says otherwise is kidding themselves. It does not belong in the West. There are a lot of people who say, like, oh, I'm a cultural Muslim. There's nothing like cultural
mm.
Muslim. You're fooling yourself, right? There's nothing like moderate Muslim. There are moderate Muslims in practice, but there's no moderate Muslim in the ideology, right? So in practice, it might be
Mm.
that you as a person might be a moderate person, but because ideology has no room for moderation, that means beyond you as a person after your death,
Mhm.
you cannot promote it beyond yourself. So unless there is a reformation within the
Mm.
religion that led by, like, maybe Saudi Arabia, finally a reformation that happens, that like pulls away these extremist elements, there is no moderation till that happens.
Mm.
And we need to, the way that we need to have it happen is we have to force these people to criticize Islam again and again and again, and make it laughable as it is, you know but like, unless that happens,
Mm.
Islam does not, in its current form, Islam does not belong in the West. And it is
That's
utter
it.
stupidity to have it here.
Mm. Yeah, and,
Thank
and, and,
you.
and and in addition to, despite some people saying, because I can already hear people say, oh, but I have Muslim friends. I have very good Muslim friends. In the grand scale of things, your Muslim friend does not matter. In the grand, people need to understand, in the grand scale, that your Muslim friend is insignificant. That your the circle of Muslims that you know that are nice people, in the grand scale of things, they are insignificant to the vast majority of Muslims that either believe in Islam and in Sharia law and want to implement it, or even if they don't implement it themselves, who want to live in a society where Sharia law will be implemented.
Mhm.
Your friend may not believe in child marriage, but if he believes in Sharia law, whether he knows that Sharia law stipulates child marriage or not, is inconsequential. Sharia law is Sharia law. I've had a conversation. I had a conversation with a Muslim, and I was telling him some of the problem with Sharia law, and he was telling me, of course, oh, no, that this is extremist interpretation. And then I would say, in what era and in what country is this your moderate interpretation of Sharia law being implemented? Show me one. Show me one part of the world where this your moderate, reasonable interpretation of the Quran is being implemented. And at what point in history, throughout the history of the religion, 1,400 years, at what point was this implemented? There is none.
Frank, like you know that wasn't real communism. That wasn't real Islam. This time when we have Sharia law, it will be the right Sharia law. It is the same mentality. It is the same mentality what the socialists do and what the communists do. Like, yeah, but that wasn't communism. That's not, like,
Yeah, it is.
there's the wrong interpretation of it. Like, we are going to do it the right way.
Yeah, that's the same thing with that's the same thing with communism. 20 million people were killed. No, that was not real communism. 100 million people were killed on that Mao. That is not real communism. Look at Cuba. That's not real communism. Look at Venezuela. Okay, what is real communism? Where is this real? It only exists in the head. That's one thing about these people. When your idea only exists in your head, maybe you should start questioning it. Like, it only exists in your head.
Yeah.
In your head, it makes sense. But in anywhere, places where people try to practice it, it doesn't go well. But how you have it in your head is perfect. Now you were saying something earlier about.
There's a saying.
Yeah, go ahead.
There's a saying with communism, right? That communism, communism is for heaven, where it is not needed, and it is like it is belongs in hell where it already exists or something like that, right? I'm not saying it correctly, but people should look it up. It's very good, like,
Yeah, maybe
because
I'll.
it's just saying like it's a utopia. It seemed as a utopia when you read it, you actually don't need it, but it's actually hell where
Mm.
it actually exists. It's its existence is hell for people. So this is Algerian propaganda, right?
Yeah. This is their this is the Algerian female boxer. I know many of you thought this person was a male because of how she was looking, but
Hmm.
Syria is yet to set the record straight. Now watch
Yeah, there's
this.
used so
Watch,
many filters.
watch this and ask for forgiveness. When you finish watching this, especially Anta, after you watch this, I want you to ask for forgiveness for all the negative things you said to this strong, beautiful Arabian woman.
تحيا الجزائر.
Powerful, powerful.
I
Who
mean,
can deny?
he still looks like a man, but
Who can deny that? Look at the Adam's apple. Look at
yeah, yeah.
the
So many
makeup artist.
filters.
Nothing to do here. And I want people to understand this. There's a reason why I brought this up. I want people to understand that the what Algeria did during the Olympics is symbolic of what Muslims are doing in the West. They are taking advantage of
Mm-hmm.
ideas that they don't buy into, of movements they don't even support, of things they don't believe in. They are taking advantage of it and they are exploiting it to your detriment. That is what they are doing. So the more you keep promoting certain ideas and you see, let's say, Quest for Palestine matching together with an Arab woman or an Arab man saying, yes, we support a free Palestine and all whatnot, and you believe, oh, we are on the same page. You are not. And Muslims are experts in doing this. They know how, these Muslims know how to hijack movements.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I covered what happened in Bangladesh. It was an otherwise legitimate movement. People kind of, I've gotten some mails from some people who kind of misunderstand my position on Bangladesh. I'm not saying that the protest that started against Hasina's government was not legitimate. There was a legitimate concern. It was for legitimate reasons. But as always, Islamists know how to hijack a movement. They know how to hijack it and use it to further their ideology. It's the same thing they did in Iran during the Iranian Revolution. It was leftists, it was liberal people who were protesting, and what came into power was a Shia government.
Yeah. And this is the reason why there's a problem with liberalism, right? And this is something that people need to really understand now. They usually say, oh no, this is the other part of left wing, this is a left wing, this is not liberalism and stuff. It's like, no, it gives the opportunity for other people to exist who don't mean well, right? It gives our framework.
It gives people
Before,
cover. It gives people cover.
yeah, and because liberalism is an expression of the anglosphere, the political anglosphere, right? It's an expression of it. They didn't need to elaborate on it because people naturally of anglosphere, the English people, the British people, the Americans, and so on and so on, whatever comes from them, they are already attuned to liberal ideas and stuff, so they inhabit those things without having to put them in context, right? Once it's combined with their traditional ideas, it's not a bad thing. But people like the French and other Western civilizations, they don't understand liberalism, they don't take the liberalism in the same way, so they're going to distort it, right? So to this left wing ideology, and this left wing ideology everywhere, it is giving its the enemies enough room to play, right? Before any of this, right, all of the West knew and understood Islam as an enemy. It did not allow Islam to enter into the country even, right? There was things like it resisted it completely. Just ask Poland how many wars they have fought against the Turks and stuff. These people used to know the enemy, right? But they don't know anymore because they have been confused by these ideologies, these isms here from here or there, that have made them confused about the realities. And the realities is like, it doesn't matter what you want, it matters what they want. And what do you think is going to happen? I don't even understand. Like, okay, even if you say like you want to be nice people, whatever, kind people, whatever it may be, or what do you
Mm,
think is going to happen? What do you think? Are they going to give up their intentions? Are they going to stop being the conquerors? Are they just going to stop? Are they going to come out and say, oh, you know what, like, I think so Allah was wrong and Muhammad was wrong. He
mm,
didn't mean that capture the whole world. He meant like
mm,
capture the Muslim world, and we have that now, and we are okay with it. And we just want to live with you in peace. Like, we have no
mm,
intentions of ever making
mm,
the whole Muslim, the world Muslim, right?
mm,
Even when Saudi Arabia and UAE are being nicey people right now, right?
mm,
Well, they still believe that, right? That
mhm,
the reason why they're being nice is because they're thinking like, you know what, not by violence but with love, we're going to make the whole world into Muslim. They still
mm,
have that intention. They are still your
mm,
enemy. So unless, like Labor, if you accept that you want to be a Muslim state, or a
mm.
Soviet state or whatever, like it's probably going to be Islamic state before Islamic Caliphate before it's Soviet, anyways. The way the Britain is going. If you
Yes.
actually want that, if the let's do a referendum then. Let's do a referendum in this country and say if you want Islam or if you don't want Islam, and you will see
Mm,
that the majority of the people actually don't want Islam in this country. So
mhm,
what happens then when you keep on not delivering on what the actual people want? I believe the majority of the people actually do not want Islam itself, not just extremism. They don't
mhm,
want Islam
mm,
itself in Britain, right? So where is this
mm,
going to lead? Where is this going to lead if not eventual civil wars and stuff like that, right? Because you're
mm.
not giving people what they actually want, right?
True.
And their Islam is never going to, that Islam part is never going to, cease, is never going to moderate itself.
Mm.
So this is not like, this is not avoidance or anything. It's inevitable. We are going to
Mm.
have this problem, and it's not like me inciting violence or anything. And even if K. Starmer thinks that, he can go fuck himself. I don't care. But even then, right? It's not inciting violence or something. It's stating the facts. What is going to happen when
Mm.
you put two people together that
Mm.
are natural enemies to each other? One is actually
Mm.
not trying to be friendly, but the other one is keeping to its anger. It's just like see
Mm.
Hamas and Israel, right? The whole
Mm.
world the whole lefty world wants ceasefire, but the person
Mm.
who's attacking doesn't want ceasefire, but they're still saying they want ceasefire. It's a perfect example. What's happening in Israel and Hamas is a perfect example of Islam. The whole
Mm.
world is coddling Islam, and they want them to be peaceful. Oh, it's a religion of peace. Oh, no, no, no. I know you mean like you want to kill people, but I think so you just love people too much,
Yeah,
and you
I'm
want
to
to,
tell
like, yeah,
the West.
yeah,
I'm to tell the West what they want to do, and the West will be like, no, 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 they don't mean it like that. Actually, it's like symbolic. It's really like
yeah.
metaphoric. I'm like,
Yeah,
no, 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 he's not being metaphoric.
rape is
He's being,
not bad. This person just doesn't know what consent means.
yeah,
Like,
it doesn't. Yeah, it
otherwise he
doesn't really.
won't rape. You
Yeah.
know, it's these sort of things that they're doing, and you can see the Hamas thing is like just put in that context, and then you will what is the eventual outlook. And if you think Israel is being harsh, Israel is actually doing what the whole of the West actually needs to understand. There is no other way to deal with this ideology. There is
Yeah,
absolutely no other way.
yeah. There's also another thing is. And I don't know if it has to get to that point, because I feel when you have countries who are strict, who like countries like Israel, who understand how to deal with like the extremist element and the Muslim population and also their Muslim neighbors, and I think for certain people to be able to understand how to deal with Islam, they need to experience it in a way. Like look at
No,
Spain. Was one time there was a time part of Spain was conquered by
700
that by
years.
yeah, it was, yes, during the 100 years after first 100 years of the religion. Okay, so Spain was conquered and then they pushed back, right? They pushed back. That is the Spaniards push back, right? And
Yeah,
then they understand. Okay, Islam is a problem because we've dealt with it before. The same thing with the Polish. They've dealt with this, so they understand. That's why they have strict borders. They are not like, oh, we are going to allow migrants into Poland. No, we are not going to do that. They understand, right? The same thing with, let's say, a country like what's the name of this country? That Romania and other like countries in that region. They've dealt with these people. These people have dealt with them for a long time, so they understand that these people are not people you handle nicely. I was talking to people yesterday, and I told them that in eastern part of Nigeria, we don't have a single mosque, like a single mosque. You don't walk around in any street in eastern Nigeria and hear call to prayer. You don't hear it.
Yeah.
You understand? It doesn't exist here because we've dealt with these people before. We know how they are. So I feel like people who really understand Islam, for the most part, don't seem to understand it based on reading the Quran or understanding the Hadith. It's just they've dealt with Muslims and they know how Muslims behave. And I really hope for the West it will not have to come to that, because when you get conquered by these people, it's not always easy to get the yoke off you, to get the chains off you. It's not really that easy. You know, many people survive it. They didn't survive it, you know, and tell beautiful stories of how when they were under Islamic rule, it was nice and they just had the referendum and Muslims were like, all right, go. You know, that's not how it happens. You know, people lose their life for these things.
And now in this day and age, we have worse weapons, we have worse ways of killing each other as well. And they can they're you know, they can actually conquer these countries far more easily because people are not armed. This is not America where people have, like, you know, people, they can't conquer America. They know that. Muslims know that, right? Because, you know, you're not doing that in the south, at least, of America.
Again, America does not suffer from this, like geographically where it is located. It's not a place where Muslims can just flood into like they do in Europe. You know, it's far away. You know, you cannot just get on a boat and then sail and then sail from Algeria to
But they're doing
America.
that. But you know what? They're even doing that because they're going to Mexico and going from there now, right? So what's happening on the American border is very disturbing. What's happening is, like, a lot of the countries, you know, are pushing their criminals over there, and you know, they're just getting rid of their criminals and stuff. But either way, like, America has more of a backbone. Hopefully, Trump will come in and they will start, because he has already said that they're going to start mass deportation. So we don't have any person like Trump who can come into power in any of the other Western countries who is already saying that I want to deport people, like mass deportations. And we need mass deportations, right? So we need, not just that we need mass deportation. I'm not advocating for violence. I'm advocating for protection of your people, preservation of your culture and your traditions. And the more and more, even the immigrants or people who are not native to these countries but are born over here and stuff like that, you know, ethnically they're not native and stuff, they need to start speaking with those people as well now, because it's our preservation as well. If we wanted to live like them, like the Muslims and stuff, we would have stayed in those countries. There's a reason why we've come over here, right? Now it's time to defend that reason, right? So stand up with the native population and defend that reason with them. You know, don't give, because Muslims are going to be worse to us than even the native population. So yeah, I think so. That it's sort of like what I want the Western countries to do, all of the Western countries to do, is to take away Islam's religious status. And from there everything follows, right? You take away this religious status, you don't recognize that as a religion anymore. They don't have any exemptions then. They don't have any exemptions for their mosques and stuff like that. And then you say, well, your religious status is taken away, so the mosque will have to come down. There's not going to be any minaret mosques and stuff like that. You can have community halls if you want to pray over there, but you'll have to share it with the local population, and you will have to pay for it yourself if you want to build your own places, right? Is not going to be recognized. Your religious any religious celebrations and stuff are not going to be recognized. It's not a religion we're recognizing, you know. So I think so, like, those sort of steps people have to take eventually, and all the immigration from these countries need to stop. Now people might think that this is a very extreme point of view, but again I say, like, what are you expecting in the end? these people are never going to assimilate, and I'm not talking about like all Muslims and stuff like that. Well, first of all, if someone is saying they're culturally Muslim and moderate Muslim, actually they need to
Mm.
grow here, these people, and leave Islam, right? But the reason why you are a moderate Muslim or just a cultural Muslim is because you know Islam is wrong and you cannot follow it, right?
Mm.
So
Mm.
leave it then. So even the Christians who, if you don't believe in Christ and stuff like that, then leave Christianity. Don't pretend to be something that you're not, right?
Mm.
So these
Mm.
Muslims, these moderate Muslims, and these Muslims, they have to grow up here and they have to leave Islam and convert to Christianity if you actually want to follow a God that is not crazy, but yeah,
Yeah.
I mean that's all I would say, like, 'cause so it's the responsibility of the Western countries to recognize what their traditions, cultures, and values are, what their traditional
Mm.
religions are, and stuff like that. And the churches need to understand their responsibility as well. The
Mm.
responsibility is to save the souls of the people,
Mm.
save the souls of the people. If you want to save the souls of Muslims, then the only way to save their souls is to convert them to Christianity. That's what the churches should be saying in those
Mm.
instances, right? You may
Mm.
agree or
Mm.
you may not agree. If you're an atheist or whatever, you may not agree with it. That's not the point,
Mm.
but their purpose is that they are church, they're a Christian church, and they believe in Christianity. They should not be
Mm.
doing any interfaith malarkey. None of this interfaith stuff they should be doing. Their purpose should be to convert people to Christianity who want to
Mm.
come to Christ, right? They shouldn't
Mm.
be accepting other religions into the church. And the
Mm.
role of the state should be that we don't care what religion you are not taking advantage over here of
Mhm.
like of our people. And if you are
Mhm.
going to do it as we have seen you doing it, if you have seen your scriptures, they're completely against our people. So that way
Mm.
we don't recognize your religion. And then if you don't want to live over here, you're more than welcome to leave. You know,
Mhm. Mhm.
yeah,
And
sensible policies.
yeah, and I agree with you largely. Like largely, although you know how I feel about like making Islam not. Of course, I don't believe Islam is a religion, but
Yeah.
some people do. They call it such. But what I would say is what I would say when it has to do with Islam. One is, and even for people in the UK, is before you get they say experience is the best teacher, but my dad always say the experience doesn't have to be yours, right?
Mm.
Doesn't have to be your experience. It can always be the experience of someone else. So learn about this religion, learn about the ideology, inform yourself, be informed, know what this thing is about, read about it. Don't take what they say for granted. If possible, have conversations with this Muslim, not if not with the aim of even to have them like convert you or anything, but just to have them explain certain passage of the Quran to you and see what these people actually believe and how they actually think and stuff. Like, see it for yourself that this is really a problem. See it for yourself that this is really problematic. That is one. And when you know this, don't be afraid to say it.
Mm.
Don't be afraid to say it, because one thing is, so even we have people even in the West today who know that Islam is problematic, but they don't want to say it for certain reasons, being that they are afraid of the repercussion and what will come out of it. Don't be afraid to say it, to say this is what this ideology is about and this is what it represents. Know the truth, speak the truth, and act on the truth about Islam. Another thing that you mentioned, which I think is very important and has to do with like the only way, when I look at Muslim countries, I always say that the only way forward for areas that have a Muslim majority is cultural colonialism, but we don't do that anymore, right? If you start to do cultural colonialism in a place like Gaza, Al Jazeera will publish 50 articles every day talking about all the horrible things you are doing, But we have to recognize that as Christians, evangelism is something that we are called to do. You are a Christian in the West. When you see what is happening, this should stir you up towards evangelism, towards evangelizing. Islam is also a religion that tries to evangelize, even though that is not like their main tool for spreading. Their main tool for spreading is false. False, not false, false. And falsehoods are there, but false is the major way they spread. So, but for Christians, the major way we spread is through evangelizing, trying to bring people to the faith. Try to evangelize to people. Now it's time as a Christian to remember one of the calling that God has given to you is to go out there and make disciples of the nation. So go out there and talk to people and evangelize to people. And now is not the time to be ashamed to be a Christian. Especially if you're a Christian. Now is not the time to be ashamed. Now it's time to wear your faith on your sleeve. You know, show the world that yes, I am this and I'm not ashamed. I love Jesus and I'm not ashamed. And I want to declare, you know, his goodness to the rest of the world.
Yeah,
Okay.
and I know like a lot of atheists or non Christians would argue with that, like, oh, why are you colonizing people culturally and stuff like that. Even if you believe that, which is fine, like, you know, you're entitled to believe that, right? Because if, let's say, if you're a Hindu or something and you love your religion and stuff, you'd be like, no, don't come over here with your Christianity, go F yourself, right? It's fine, you're supposed to believe that. But what I mainly want the West to do is the governments to do, right? Because it's not the government's job to evangelize people, right? It's the government's job to protect its people. So what I want the government to do is to say, out of our country, get out of our country, right? And a barrier, you're not coming in because you're not good for us. You're not good for us. You're not good for our culture. You're not good for our values. You're not good for our traditions. You're not good for our people. So you're not coming in with that ideology. Beyond that, what happens is upon the enterprise of people and the church and stuff, if they want to go ahead and evangelize. And obviously, the church should not go and evangelize in a conquering way. It's to spread a message for people to come in, like, you know, because you can see the Coptic Christians, see the Orthodox Christians and stuff. You're not evangelizing them to be all Catholics and stuff. They have incorporated their own cultures within it, right? So even when you see the liturgical chants which you hear in Lebanon, on those places, in Arabic, where they're doing their Orthodox liturgical chants and stuff like that, right? They're very close to the Islamic prayer, an Islamic way of chanting there from the Quran, because Islam has taken from them, right? And people believe, like, people don't understand where Islam took their, like, praying and stuff like that. They've taken from them because they're chanting and stuff. But it shows that, you know, those people had their own culture. Spreading Christianity doesn't mean that you're overtaking their culture. They will adapt their culture and they will believe in Christianity how they want to believe in. Look at South Americans. They have a very colorful way of doing things. Like, they have amalgamated it with their own cultural things to you know, make it applicable for them. So but the thing is, like, that can be afterwards. That's for Christians, actual Christians, to think about it, right? I want just the governments to work as governments. That's all. I just want a competent government. That's all I want. You know, nothing like beyond that is like it. I don't expect anything from anyone beyond that. Beyond that, it's up to me to inspire other people to do it. It's up to you to inspire other people to do what you want them to do. It's local enterprise, it's private enterprise of people, it's church enterprise of other people. It's not a government matter. You know, government matter is to give security and protection to its people and leave them alone.
Lastly, let's watch. I want us to look at. I want us to see an excerpt from an interview that Jordan Peterson did with Douglas Murray. This is like 4 hours. I mean, this is like a 4-minute excerpt from that interview. So let's just look at that.
The idea that people's response to any problems in their society should be to go out and commit acts of violence is obviously insane and wrong.
Is that going?
Yeah.
Let me try, and this is the moment where I know why it is echoing. Let me close this. Give me a moment. Stop screen share. Sorry, guys. Technical difficulty. Just for a brief moment, I will be back. Don't mind me. I operate my system like an old man, so I'm not really that fast.
What we're seeing on the streets of the British cities, though, raises this question, as I say, of if the public keep saying something to the politicians and the politicians keep not just ignoring them, but insulting them, what are they allowed to do, these people? These are populations that have every single election, like the rest of the British people, for 20 years, they have voted for less immigration and been told that they'd get it. And instead, it's just gone up. They've lived through an economy since 2008, where of the jobs created by the British government since 2008, so in the last, what we're talking, 16 years, of the jobs created since 2008, 74% have gone to people who were not born in Britain. So just people think about this for a second. The government refuses to do what the public keep on asking for and what the government keeps on saying it'll do. It is seen to be, I think accurately, extremely lax on policing certain social cohesion issues. It's extremely eager to crack down on anyone of a Tommy Robinson type. And what material benefits have come about in the society in the last 16 years have largely gone to people who were not born in the country. What, I repeat, what is permissible in this situation to do? And I would say peaceful protesting would be one thing, or speaking up, or whatever you like to do, except that every time even there is a peaceful protest, the peaceful protesters are defamed as far-right neo-Nazis. I mean, there definitely will have been and have been in recent days some extremely ugly people who've come out of the woodshed. I'm sure do include, there's like one guy everyone's obsessed with who has a swastika tattoo on his back. Is that guy representative of all the people who are angry in the wake of the slaughter in Southport? I would have thought not. And in any other situation, every public official, political official, opinion writer, and policeman would be very wary of trying to tar everyone with that brush. I mean, for instance, the police and authorities, even when you have discovery of an imam in a mosque preaching violence, everyone is incredibly careful, lawyers at all the newspapers and everyone else, to make sure that it isn't implied that everyone who attends that mosque is somehow in favor of this. In fact, woe betide you if you did do that. You have to say it's this one person and no one else is responsible. But somehow the actual desire to tar anyone who has, as I say, not got a voice and is wanting to make their voice heard as a violent far-right neo-Nazi seems to me to be a big error by Keir Starmer and others. Because, if you can't say, we recognize your deep, deep concerns about some things that have happened, including mass stabbings, terrorism, and much more. We understand your deep, deep concerns, and we are going to try to get onto this and on top of this. But there is no excuse to turn out on the streets and be violent against your Muslim brothers and sisters and neighbors or anyone else. If they can't say that, they just cannot say it. They just have to go to the secondary thing. What kills me about this is it's exactly what I said for years. If you don't deal with a primary problem, you get secondary problems. And if you just focus on the secondary problem, you will you'll not only not solve the primary problem, you will make it worse. Exactly what we're seeing.
And there we have it, guys. Wise words from Douglas Murray. And I'm very sure Momus agree 100%.
Yeah,
Douglas Murray
100%.
is his man crush. And
I love Douglas. He's amazing. Yeah.
Yeah. Anything to say in closing? Because we have stayed 2 hours, and I know 2 hours is your limit. So let's not.
Yes,
Let's not.
it is my limit because I've just come. When we started, I just finished work. And I'm very hungry now. I haven't had dinner, and I'm getting very hungry. And when I'm hungry, I'm very angry. I'm not good when I'm hungry.
All right. So closing remarks. Give us a remark.
Closing remarks. I would say, like, I think so. People need to take what's happening here in Britain. British people need to take it seriously. Why? Because if we don't take it seriously now, then there will be a mass exodus of people, because there is no hope for the future generation, how things are going, right? And if no one is
Mm,
going to stand up, and people are not going to stand up about it, then there is going to be a mass exodus of people, and this is how they will eventually, make Britain a socialist country. I don't actually believe
mm,
in the threat of Islam as much in Britain, as sometimes I would exaggerate at times, is because I
mm,
think that the communist element is a bit more problematic over here than the Islam problem, because
mm,
the numbers are still low for Muslims, and it's pretty
mm,
much that they will start deporting people at some point. Um,
mm,
it might be like through naivety, like we don't know right now, like Islam is a huge problem with what they're doing, but right now they're only doing it to people that they are against, that the labor is against anyways, the working class people. Once
mm,
these Muslims start doing it to the middle class people more and more, right,
mhm,
that is when labor will take action, right? When they
mm,
start doing the bad things to the lefties, that's when labor will
mm,
have to take action, right?
mm.
So we'll wait and see what happens over there, what that conflict is going to be, how they start eating it themselves,
Each other
right?
up.
Yeah, in the meantime, I think so people need to voice their concerns. People need to stop being afraid of this government and of what it's doing and stuff like that, because it doesn't have the authority to do what they're doing. But also, I want people to actually clue on, like, you can't just this is not a time anymore where you can learn, where you can live while in ignorance of the
Mm,
system that works around you. So I think so
mm,
this is a wake up call for people to understand the systems that work around them, to understand the
mm,
ideology that they believe in, to stop,
mhm,
if they consider themselves as Christians and stuff, understand the meanings of Christianity, like the lessons of Christianity. Cultural
mm,
Christianity without understanding Christianity is not valid anymore at a time where you actually need your faith to be strong. So these are things
mm,
that people need people need to really understand, and people need to understand why they love this country, and
mm,
why they would like to fight for it. Because if you don't, then get out of here, because there's nothing
mm,
for you then.
mm,
And also people need to understand democracy a bit more. Look,
mm,
I don't think so. Democracy doesn't work for me if the majority of the people is unaware of the current affairs and the problems of the country, right?
mm,
Economical, social, and cultural problems of the country. Democracy doesn't work then, because
mm,
it's just being ruled by a minority, and that minority is like even more tyrannical because it has a mandate of the nation when it actually doesn't. It has a mandate of a clueless nation that is just
mm,
putting them on for whatever surface level reasons. So either, if we want to progress with democracy, I personally, I'm in between. I rather have an elective monarchy, so a democracy, but to actually elect a king. I'm a bit different when I think about those things. But if you want a democracy, then you have to be aware of what you actually have, right? And you have to have a percentage of people, a high percentage of people that need to vote and be active about it. And you need to stop voting, you need to stop voting for these little for these big parties that don't understand you, that don't want what's good for you, that only want good for a globalist agenda, right? So you need to
mm,
focusing on smaller parties that actually care for the people, if you want
mm,
democracy. But yeah, what I would say, like, people need to get clued on. The best thing that people can do is to educate themselves now. Like this,
mm,
stop watching stupid shows and stupid dramas and think this is all gonna go away. Because what's gonna happen is you're gonna wake up to either a Muslim country, Islamic country, or you're gonna wake up to a Soviet Britain, or you're going to wake up to a country that is divided between the Muslims and the Soviets, like it used to be, like
mm,
between Danelaw and the Wessex, right? That's
mm,
you're not going to wake up to normal. You can't just go on, carry on with your life and think everything
mm,
is fine, and it's just gonna be fine. It's just gonna be fine. It's just people, when they stop being mad about things, they're gonna be fine, right? Because you
mm,
might not have an idea, and you might
mm,
not recognize your enemies, but your
mm,
enemies surely know you. They know you, they recognize you as an enemy, and they are very motivated against you. So that's what I would say. Like, people need to, like, yeah, buck up their ideas.
Of course, one of the things I wanted to say was already Lola already pointed it out to me. Not the democracy is a lie part. It's the part, just seeing her face just reminded me of a very important thing that I stand by. And we both stand by that the solution is killing a bunch of people, rounding them up and just executing them. That is the way forward.
I
And
haven't
we're going
said that. He has said that. Extradite him
Yeah.
and put him in UK prison.
Yes, Tama, extradite me and bring me to the UK. Let's see you try. Anyway, so there is that. That's what we believe in. It's called. We are trying to form a religion. It's the religion of genocide, and some people call it Judaism, but no, we don't think it's Judaism. We think it's bigger than that. It needs to be. We don't want to co-opt another religion. We want to create our own. Okay. And even if it's Judaism, who says one more religion cannot exist to further to make the to speed things up. Anyways, somebody asked in the comments, it was asking Anta when he's going to be on the channel again. Hopefully tomorrow, because we want to discuss. There's a topic I want us to talk about tomorrow. And Anta, if you're on the live, this is you sharing it for the first time, but it was something in my head. I forgot to send you the message, and now I'm telling you as you're watching me live. I have a couple of videos, interesting videos from TikTok on like there's this civil war between blacks who were pro-Palestinians, or I mean I say pro-Palestinian, pro-Palestine, and actual Arabs who are pro-Palestine, who are still pro-Palestine, because the black pro-Palestine supporters or black Palestine supporters of Hamas and Palestine realize that their interest does not align with the interest of the Arabs. And now there's a huge conflict, and it's interesting to see. What is playing out on TikTok is really, really interesting. I have made one video about it. I'm about to make another one. But tomorrow I hope we'll be able to. I'm going to have a live stream with Anta to talk about it. So that's what is in store for tomorrow, and we are going to have Momus again on towards the end of this month. Right, that's where the live stream is going to happen, and we're going to talk about a different topic, not Britain, not just Britain. Okay, We'll talk about a bigger topic. What else? Also, please, guys, let me remove this genocider live chat. Please, guys, this is our Twitter. These are our Twitter handles. As you can see, next to our names are Twitter handles. Go there and give us a follow. If 491 of you give me a follow right now, whoa, I'll be the biggest boy on Twitter right now. I'll be the biggest boy on Twitter. All right. And if you are not yet subscribed to the channel, subscribe to this channel, please. Hit that like button, smash it, destroy it, and follow Momus. Follow him. His channel name is tagged on the topic and on the description of this video. Once you click on his name on the topic, if you click on it, it sends you to his channel. Go there and give him a huge follow. He's doing amazing work. And what else? I want to make all the necessary announcements. Is there anything I'm missing, Momus? Is there anything I'm forgetting to? Okay, follow me on
Instagram. You coming on Instagram now?
Yeah, I'm on Instagram, so I've always been. In fact, I have more Instagram followers than I have Twitter followers.
Yeah, I just want to tell people, like, I do have a Substack, so if people want to follow me over there, it's theworldofmomus.com, the Substack over there, and everything is for free over there anyways, and paid subscription or monthly paid subscription is voluntary. It would be really appreciated if more and more people do that, because I need it for my future solicitors. So,
and I almost forgot to highlight the super chats that came from the sponsor of this live stream. Is probably this live stream is proudly brought to you by Jax. Okay, this is my able sponsor, like we said, my able sponsor, and this is a live chat, super chat from her. She said, "What I see literally makes me ill. The pure evil that is being advocated for is just not human life, love, truth, and freedom. Scares the out of this, scares the crap out of these demons. It does, and that's why I believe that Christians should be bold about saying what they know to be true. And I think that boldness, I think, is one of the things that scare Muslims. They're scared when you're bold and when you are proud of who you are. I was in a live stream yesterday, and the proud Christians on the live stream scared the Islamist that he left. Okay, and when you are also proud to be a Christian, aware of your Christianity, and you appear in great number. I don't know if you guys are familiar with the story that happened with David Wood when he went to Speaker's Corner, and the large crroud of Christians that were there. They scared the Islamists out of that area. The Muslim preachers were not. They were like, it was not business as usual for them, and that's why I encourage Christians to be loud and proud. Okay, no silence. Okay, and here is just again saying thank you, everyone. You are proof that we get along no matter where we are from. Proud infidels unite. Kufars for
life.
Besides, we have a common threat, Islam. Yes, we do. And I want to thank Jazz for gifting 5 Nigerian Perspective membership and also doing it again. We didn't get plenty super chats today. Why? You guys, I'm disappointed. Okay. But it doesn't matter. We'll be here again. I love coming live. I love seeing you guys. One of the things I really love about this live stream is that we have close to 500 people with us live, and this is huge compared to like the couple of live streams I've done in the recent past. And I really am happy about that. I really am happy, and I want to thank every one of you who is with me right now live. I really appreciate the support. I really love the support I'm seeing, and I am really, really grateful. Thank you, Momus, for showing up. Thanks to my moderators. You guys are the best. Stachin, Jags, Shayna, who is not here presently, or at least I'm not seeing her live chat. And Can You Not? You guys are the best. Thank you, Ayanora. I know you're not with us right now, but thank you for showing up. And thank you, Lola, my very good friend, for showing up as well. Seeing familiar faces on the live chat is usually welcoming. And I don't know why I don't have my dentist guy with us right now. There's this dentist guy that always show up telling me to go and see a dentist, and he's not here today. I don't know why you're not here today. Somehow. And thank you. And thank you, Anta, as well. Hopefully we'll be able to fix that live for tomorrow, or probably to be on Sunday. We'll see how it goes. But I hope it happens.
He's not here anymore. You should message him.
Yeah, he's not here. He's probably doing what he does best in his free time.
Smoking weed and jerking off.
All right, guys, it's been fun, and I really appreciate it all. Until I see you guys again, thank you, and God bless you.
Thank you, guys.
Yeah.